Hello, I'm Tim Krul. Welcome to Norwich City Central.
Hello everybody, Lewis, Norwich City Central. I hope you're all doing well. Slightly different surroundings today. I thought I'd come outside for this match preview. And yes, I hope you're all doing well. Norwich City, of course, coming off the back of that terrific 1-0 win over Middlesbrough, which sends Norwich top of the Championship table, which I'm absolutely delighted to say. Who would have thought that 5-6 weeks ago? It's absolutely tremendous to run Norwich City on. I think 8 games unbeaten now. And yeah, Norwich City are in a good place in terms of their unbeaten run. The injury crisis part 2 has come, and in this video I'll be going through all the injury news, which I won't be too happy to be talking about. But if you are new to Norwich City Central, please do subscribe. I've got the statistics up there. I think about 3/4 of people aren't subscribed, so if you do subscribe you will be notified when the videos get released, including match reviews, match previews and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you are new, subscribe to Norwich City Central. It's free, of course, on YouTube, and yeah, you won't miss a video. And subscribe and turn on the bell as well. So yeah, let's go straight into the injury news. I'll be talking about the predicted XI first, and then we'll talk a bit about Stoke and a bit about Norwich. But the injury news which come out from Daniel Farke's press conference. So Kenny McLean, firstly, he's at least off for 6 weeks, but if he requires surgery then it will be at least 3 months, which is absolutely terrible to see. Kenny McLean's obviously a really good squad player and someone who Daniel Farke really likes. Todd Cantwell as well, not too serious this one, but he's out for 3 weeks. But of course, when Norwich City play 2-3 times a week in this crazy run-in, I don't expect to see Todd Cantwell kind of perform. Maybe around the Christmas period he'll come back, but it's really disappointing to see. And Jordan Hugill as well will also be out for 3 weeks, but could potentially be longer depending on how his injury news goes. So that's the latest news, and that means the Norwich City numbers lessen even more, particularly with now having 9 subs on the bench. There'll be plenty of youth academy players on the bench, and yeah, just really disappointing to see. Of course, a few days ago we had the news Ballymumba and Adam Eder will be out for 10 weeks and won't be back till February. So yeah, lots of injury news. On top of that, of course, you've got Sam Byram, Onel Hernandez and Kieran Dow, who have got long-term injuries, who won't be back till at least January. I'm probably missing a couple as well. It's that bad. Javi Quintilla is another one as well, who his injury news didn't look to be too bad, but he's expected to go back to VAR for some treatment, so that could be a long one, and that means Norwich City could be without a left back for some time. So in terms of the predicted XI, Tim Krul in goal, for me, our player of the season. Sorensen at the back. I mean, I spoke about at the very beginning of the season, the teams who are going to be successful are the ones who have got a good social cohesion in terms of the team. But I think also the teams which are going to be successful are the ones who have fixed squads, and I stand by that opinion. And obviously Norwich City only going into the season with 3 centre-backs and 1 left-back, despite the brilliant news keeping the likes of Buendia. That was the one bit of the transfer news I was really disappointed to see it. And the fact that, you know, we haven't really got any left-backs and we have to play Sorensen there, who has done well, shows just how small the numbers are. And if Norwich City do want to have a successful injury, let's hope for no more injuries. The back, those centre-backs, Grant Hanley and Ben Gibson, they've both been excellent. And yeah, if we do have any more centre-back injuries, then that'll be really worrying to see, because we only have 3 centre-backs. Right back, Max Aarons, and the 2 central defensive midfielders, Oliver Skipp comes in. I think Lucas Rupp's a small doubt for this game, but I don't think his injury will be too long-term. So Oliver Skipp keeps his place. And yeah, with Kenny McLean out, Lucas Rupp out for the game, surely it's now time to bring in Mario Rancic. I'm sure Farke will try and find an excuse, because he doesn't particularly like to start him. But yeah, Mario Rancic has got to come in for this Stoke game, and I'm sure his technical ability will come in handy. On the left wing, Poeta, Stiepermann, and then Eddie Buendia, and up front Teemu Pukki. Jordan Hugill, of course, is out for the 3 weeks, as I mentioned. So there's not too many changes there in terms of the first team, but of course on the bench the numbers are now really dwindling, and we're going to have to play with a lot of the youth players. Poeta on the left, I think there's a real player there. He really excites me. His pace, his dribbling skills, he really excites me, and I don't think it'll be too long before we see his name on the score sheet. Marcus Stiepermann comes in at cam, and Emi Buendia on the right, who's still a fantastic player. And up front, Teemu Pukki, of course, Adam Eder's out till February. Jordan Hugill's going to be out for a few weeks, so that means Teemu Pukki will have to lead the line up front. So yeah, that'll be really interesting to see, and it shows now the Norwich City squad are really vulnerable to injuries. What happens if Pukki gets injured? What happens if Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley get injured? You know, the squad are now really dwindling. So let's hope for no more injuries, and let's hope maybe some of the youth players can step up as well. But yeah, certainly I said earlier on in the videos, as I said, the squad depth will be really important to Norwich City getting out of the Championship. And I was very perplexed by the low moves of people like Sam McCallum, who, you know, now Norwich City don't have a registered left back, and also someone like Daniel Sonani as well. But let's hope these players come back soon. And to be fair, if we can keep this unbeaten run going against Stoke, that would be really pleasing to see. Because coming to Stoke sit in 7th place in the Championship table. But if they win this game, I think they actually overleap, whatever the word you want to call it, go ahead of Norwich in the table. So it shows it is still really tight despite Norwich City being top. Their top scorer, Trace Campbell's got 6 goals. He looks a really good player, and they've got a lot of good players. Lee Gregory on the bench, who's very good at this level. Sam Clucas, Tom Ince. So they've got really good Championship players, and a lot of Stoke fans have been disappointed. I think a lot of people were expecting Stoke to bounce straight back up. But it never really worked out with their managers, never really worked out with Nathan Jones, who's doing brilliant things at Luton. And yeah, they've had 2 mid-table finishes, but now Martin O'Neill's come in. They're starting to pick up their form. They ended the Championship season last season very well, so I do expect Stoke to be in and around the playoffs this season, and that is why it's going to be a really tough game for Norwich City. But coming to Norwich, yeah, really impressive win against Middlesbrough, and I do want to touch on the tale of 2 penalties, because it really was. Pukki, of course, putting his penalty away really nicely. But I have to praise the referee, because this is an absolutely stunning decision from the referee. Of course, the Middlesbrough player hits it. It's a double touch, so therefore the penalty has to be disqualified, has to be suspended, and of course the goal doesn't count. But it's absolutely brilliant from the ref, because if you look at the replays, it's not obvious. You know, even at first glance when you watch the replays, it's not obvious. But when you really slow it down, you do see it is a double touch. So it's excellent officiating from the referee. And officials do get a bad rep in the Championship for obvious reasons. They are quite poor. But no, it was absolutely brilliant officiating from the ref. And of course, Norwich City survive the scare and then start to grow in the game. We win the penalty. Teemu Pukki scores. And what's the most pleasing thing about Norwich City at the moment is our defensive record. Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley, 3 clean sheets in a row now. And they've been absolutely fantastic. But of course, we only have 3 centre-backs. So if a couple of them get injured, then it's really worrying, because our injury cover was meant to be Sorensen, but he's at left-back. And yeah, it's just people filling in it at the moment. So it will be quite worrying. But yeah, defensively, Ben Gibson and Grant Hanley put in another man-of-the-match performance, in my opinion. He was absolutely superb. Oliver Skip as well was really good in the central defensive midfield areas. So there's a lot to be happy about. Defensively, we look great. Not quite at our best in terms of our free-flowing football, but I think the chances will come. I think our best performance came against Bristol City, and Bristol City are 3rd in the table, which shows that I think Norwich City can sometimes be better against teams who are more expansive, and that could mean there could be goals in this game against Stoke. In terms of a score prediction, just because of a lot of injuries and the squad depth starting to dwindle and Stoke being a very good team, I'm going to say it's 1-1. But that is the injury crisis all done for you now. Let's hope for no more injuries, and let's hope for a really positive performance against Stoke. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate all your guys' support. And let me know your thoughts as we head to Stoke away Tuesday at 7:45. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later, guys.